All right, guys. We're coming to you with another commentary. This may be like a three-part commentary. Um, I'm trying to keep it as mild as I can, but it's just sometimes like just seeing what the world is becoming and how like decaying it is. It's like it's kind of hard to really. I guess you can say it's kind of hard to even have hope. I mean, it's like you're forced to do one extreme, and the extreme that I'm talking about is you just like pretty much just gotta just be cold turkey on modern women, period. You just gotta do it if you value your sanity, and if you value your your mental, your spiritual, and your physical health. Like, you just gotta do it. It's sad to say it, but you really have to do it at this point, from what I'm about to show you guys. But let's get started. TikTok is basically a diary for modern women. And the thing is about TikTok, is these women don't realize that, these videos can be recorded. And then as they're going to be recorded, like you're going to get like ether, and a lot of times they make it onto YouTube. So here's let's get started.
So I no longer casually sleep with people.
So, the first thing we can say is that, like, this is gonna be majority of like modern women. Is that, like, after having fun, hot girl summer, all types of pogo sticks left and right. And I've been saying this in like many videos before. Now it's time to settle down, and now it's time to look for something serious. And the reality is, like, as a guy, it's not even worth it for you, because she's not. I mean, listen to what she's about to say.
And I want to discuss this here because every time I bring this topic up to my friends and discuss my opinions, everyone seems to have a variety of different opinions about it. And for me personally, I feel like hookup culture has become very toxic.
Now, notice that she says the word has become. It already was in the beginning. Like, there was nothing, I guess you can say there was nothing, nothing was fulfilling about it in the beginning anyway. So the fact that she used has become just goes to show you what time we're in.
And can be pretty hurtful to a lot of people. And I guess I'm just going to kind of explain why I've made the decisions that I've made and why I feel the way that I do. If you're in my family, skip this video, please. Disclaimer, I am not telling any.
So, like, the fact that she's like, if you're in my family, skip this video, which means, like, she doesn't even want her family to know the type of things that she was doing in the past and that she was engaging in the past. Like, just this just goes to show you that, like, because if you were engaged in something good, you wouldn't even have to ask your family to skip the video. You know, so that just shows you that, she's not proud of herself about what she was doing, you know, what she was involved in. But let's continue on.
One, how you should live your life. I'm not telling anyone that the way that you do things is wrong. I'm not trying to like slut shame anyone. I'm not trying to anything like that. I'm just going to explain the decisions that I have made for myself. And it's really not that deep. Okay. So I used to participate in casual hookup culture, And I felt like,
In other words, Chad was blowing out her back. You know, like that's she doesn't want to say that, but that's what it really comes down to. Like, Chad was just having her way with her. That's what she means.
it was detrimental to my mental and sometimes physical health. And I just decided that.
I mean, everybody knows that, like a lot of like super duper sexual partners, pH balance goes off, all types of things. Things happen when you decide to do things like this.
Basically, I'd had enough of that, and I decided that I was not going to like sleep with people anymore unless we were like pretty much dating.
So, like, okay, so let's try to look at it from try to figure it out from a logical sense, but it's going to be kind of difficult to do things from a logical sense. So what she's like saying in essence is that um she's saying two things. One, that she was probably having one night stands, you know, because that's why she said hookup culture, right? So she was probably engaged in one night stands, right? So she said that I I now only am gonna like she said I decided that I was gonna like sleep with someone if we're dating. So I mean, um in this day and age, what's a date? Because like a date can just be like one night on the town, and that's considered a date. I know she said dating, but I mean, let's be honest. What is like the definition of dating these days? Like really and truthfully speaking, like what's like the definition of dating?
And by the way, this is my perspective from having heterosexual relationships. I personally feel as though men respect women differently once they have slept with them. And in my experience,
So why is she telling like the obvious thing? You know, like she's like saying the obvious thing. The only time where like the respect probably never ends is if she's like our wives. You know, I mean that's just pretty much how it works. You know what I mean? So I don't know why she's saying this. It's weird. It's like strange, but let's keep continue.
I began to feel just disrespected by every single guy that I ever slept with. I always would feel like as soon as I gave it up to a guy, I would just be like trashed to the side. Like I was like disposable. And
Keep in mind though, there were guys that were vetting her that like you know didn't meet the Chad standard. So they those guys, they would have put a ring on it. They would have did everything right. But because they didn't meet Chad's, they weren't Chad's or anything like that. They were like kind of out of luck, unfortunately. You know, as sad as it is, but that's how it works, right? Well, let's continue on.
it was really affecting my mental health and like making my self confidence a lot worse.
Keep in mind that women thrive off of validation, so like you pumping and dumping her just means like basically you're just telling her she ain't nothing. And it's the month of Ramadan, so I'm not gonna like divulge my sins, here on the public platform. But in other words, like, and I hate to say this, and this is gonna sound really messed up, but you got like honestly, And again, I say don't like mess with these women. I recommend not to mess with these women. Like that's my like recommendation. But if you do mess with these women, if you play these kind of games with them, you know they'll never leave you alone. It's sad to say it, but they won't. But if you play the honest game, let's say the halal game and stuff like that, you want to do things honorable, right? Then they're gonna leave you alone, and then they're gonna pretty much use you. You know, usually use you for conversations to talk about the guy who that that basically is blowing out their back, and they're gonna use you for like um, foodie calls and all of those things. So you know, unfortunately, you have to play these games with them if it's like, and again, I'm not like encouraging this, but if it's play that you want, you know, you have to play dirty, you know. And again, I'm saying that I don't recommend doing this. You know, I'm saying I don't recommend you doing these things. Okay, but I'm just saying that if you do decide and you make a conscious choice to do it, just know this is how you have to do it.
And as I've gotten older, I began to value myself more than just being like a one night stand or a casual hookup for a guy. I personally think that I am of higher value than that.
So when that happens, when a woman says that, just understand that the wall is approaching, and that Mother Nature and natural law is like taking its course. You know what I mean? And because Mother Nature and natural law is taking its course, you know that's why she's feeling the way she's feeling right now. You know, um, I decided that since this is a lot that's going on in these commentaries, maybe I gotta cut them short. So I'm gonna do a commentary on this woman, and then I'm gonna do a commentary on Mrs. Um, if you don't take care of your if you don't take care of your another man's kids, then you're not a man. You remember her, right? 4 kids. But let's continue. We'll break these up. We're gonna break everything up. I decided that's the best way to go, is to just break everything up piece by piece by piece and make it kind of like flow better. But let's continue. But just understand, after she's had her fun, that you're gonna be the dude who's gonna like have to do everything for her, roll out the red carpet, um, cater to her in every single way possible. And you don't want to be that guy. You definitely don't want to be that guy, especially if you're a guy who, got it from the mud, got it from the muscle. You don't want to be him, you know.
I just personally don't feel comfortable giving that part of myself to someone who has no intention of committing to me in any way. And I feel like being with men who don't recognize that value in me decreases my value. Like, it shows that I'm willing to settle, and I'm not.
Okay, keywords. Showing that I'm willing to settle and I'm not. So basically, what she's looking for is again, the 3 6s, 6 figures, 6 pack, 6 feet. And if you want to like get technical, while keeping it PG, over 6 inches, if you know what I mean. So that's what she feels like she's entitled to. But I'm gonna be honest, like a lot of guys that I know who are who do have like abundance of wealth, they kind of like held out in married traditional women. They kind of held out and did that. They actually held out for a long time. There was actually an Egyptian I knew, may Allah bless him. I think he probably back in Egypt right now. but he was a professor. I mean, this guy could have had any pick of the litter he wanted. But this dude held out for a traditional Muslim woman. He held out. And I don't know what he's doing now, but the fact of the matter is he had chances to do whatever he wanted. But and granted he's making well over six figures with his in accounting. You do the math. That dude's a straight out accounting tax person, whatever you want to call it. That dude, okay, that dude has Skrilla. But he went the traditional route, you know. So the thing is, even these guys that they talk about, like we don't want like that type of woman, more or less so. We don't want that, you know. So like just picture this scenario, her coming to like one of these dudes, and it's like, okay, well, you know, you're kind of used already. Like, what? Why would I want you? You know what I mean?
Like, you can't go to a luxury car dealership and test drive a car that you have no intention of buying and can't even afford.
So keep those keywords in mind. Keep the last keyword in mind. You can't even afford. So here's probably a woman who worships Birkin bags, those vacays, and things like that. She probably worships these things. So with that being said, it's like, okay, well, you might as well like just kiss it goodbye. You know, it's not gonna work. You know, she probably won't give you the time of day. You know.
Does that make sense? I don't know. Tell me what you think.
So with that being said, guys, just don't bother, bro. I said it before, I said it again. Don't bother. You know. But anyhow, Foolish signing out. Part 2 is coming right behind. This is kind of going to be a series of things that I have uncovered on TikTok.